I watched a video the other day of Todd McShay, just kind of glaring up. So this one is not a hot take whatsoever, but just being for
Let's put it this way, real quick. I spent most of while you were actually at the Senior Bowl, which to me is tampering, unfair advantage. Um, while you were actually at the Senior Bowl, I was in a tree stand and I was still getting notifications about Tyjae Spears. I mean,
yeah.
I'm in a tree stand in the middle of Alabama in the woods, and I'm still hearing about him from cousins and getting notifications on my phone. So this dude is seems to be legit so far.
Yeah, no, he is. He just, I think he shocked a lot of people coming from a small school like Tulane, who's really, it's mostly known for its academics. Let's be honest. I think they have a good baseball team, but I don't really know much about the basketball team. But they're not really known for their athletics. But Tulane, their football team, I watched them a couple times this year. So for those of you that don't know, you'll learn more as the episodes come along. I actually do get the chance to watch on the sidelines sometimes where I'm getting a firsthand look at these players. Because I am a sound engineer. So I'm working right there on the sidelines. Catch me on your TVs next time. You might see me working that boom pole. But I get to watch these players, and I've stood next to Bryce Young, like I've seen Tulane play multiple times. And there's also a couple other guys that we'll maybe get to in future videos that I've seen that I really like coming into like your dynasty drafts. But back to Tyjae, one of the things that really just stood out was his explosiveness, like in 7-on-7 really well, and also in 7-on-7s, whenever he's, his release from running routes, he's shown, and we were talking about this actually a little bit before air, that he didn't have a lot of production receiving in college, but watching him, it didn't seem like he was incapable of it. It seems like he
Right.
was very fluid right runner, like I said, very explosive, not bad off of his release, and was able to get some separation with some of these linebackers that were lining up on 7-on-7. But even on the scrimmages where it's, full on pads and these guys are hitting, he had some really explosive plays. And there was one play that specifically made its rounds on Twitter and all of the social media. And I'm sure we'll also, like I said, we'll have some of these videos that we'll release here too, to where you can just
Right.
kind of see another different angle of just the explosiveness, where this guy is 5'9", 5'9", 205, that he checked in at
Solid.
very solid. Somewhere where you feel like he has enough build to where he can take a load, but enough to where he's probably just going to be that compliment back, but I think, like I said, combine means a
Yeah,
lot.
I don't think you want him every single down, but I mean, dude is going to be effective anytime that he's on the field getting the ball in his hands.
But I mean, hey, I was looking at this the other day, actually. Maybe he's a Maurice Jones-Drew. Maurice Jones-Drew was 5'7", 215. If he comes in at the combine and is 5'9", and he stays at 205, maybe even like 208 to 210, that's like, oh man, when we were talking about it, like, especially if he runs a high 40, his his stock is just going to continue to raise. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
this is somebody like I specifically mentioned, and you're going to hear me say this a lot, and I may be dreaming, but as a Seahawks fan, I would love this kid. I think he's somebody for like Pete Carroll that loves to run that rock. It would be perfect, because Ken Walker, as much as I love him, and I do have him in a couple leagues, but he got a little banged up towards the end of the year, and that's just the nature of the game with running backs. It's very hard to find a guy that's going to be on 16 games. So, maybe as a complimentary back,
17.
17 game. Yes. Thank you. Maybe as a complimentary back there, but also who knows? I mean, if he goes to somewhere like the Bills, cause they took James Cook last year, they like that type of back clearly, and they have Devin Singletary. Who knows? Maybe he becomes the guy there. But to kind of just a little bit one more thing that I did want to say is that he was also like a very strong runner, and a kind of little negative to him that is something that a lot of people like to take into account. I'm iffy on this sometimes, because I was a big fan of Jamison Williams last year, and he was very similar, where he didn't really break out until his senior year. But when he broke out, I like the little, yeah.
I accidentally hit the button. I was like, oh shit.
For the viewers at home watching, there you go. Got a little visual gag. But no, but he wasn't really a true breakout starter until his senior year at Tulane. But when he did break out, man, did he break out. He had 21 total touchdowns, receiving and rushing, 19 rushing, and then he also ran for over 1,600 yards. So like clearly,
Nasty,
yeah, this
nasty.
kid when he broke out, he broke out. So like I don't
He's
know.
no
I like
Matt Forte. Shout out to Tulane. He's no Matt Forte. He's